Let's get a little bit more analysis on this with Dr. John Sfakianakis, who's Chief Economist at the Gulf Research Centre in Saudi Arabia and also a Chatham House Associate Fellow. John, great to talk to you. Regarding Trump, are we seeing what some people dub taco, that is Trump always chickening out, or is he going to go through with his threats come 3 o'clock today when this blockade is due to come in?
I think that there is a combination of taco and something else. Of course, we can't predict exactly what Trump says or does, but I think the longer this drags out, the more the possibility of a Trumpian taco, because he doesn't want to have the market against him, but he needs to show that he's winning. And he needs to show that despite the failed negotiations, there is some kind of an escalatory language, narrative, so to speak, that he's using to show how important militarily they are, how they can fight this if they don't behave, and how they can return back to the negotiating table.
What have you made of the volatility in the oil market? Up, down, it's gone back over to Brent crude's gone back over $100 a barrel. What impact is this having?
So I'm being asked this question all the time. I think there is a massive mispricing of risk going on. With the amount of volatility, uncertainty, we have a war going on. We've never imagined, never in my life of 25, 27 years, have I been expecting the Strait of Hormuz to shut down the way it has. And now we're going into a blockade. Never expected this to happen. The market seems to be relatively quiet, relatively okay. Oil, yes, it jumped 7 to 8% up between Friday and today. However, stock markets are doing okay. They're not falling apart. They're not declining. They're not being decimated. But here is the big mispricing going on today. Physical oil, which is the oil that we actually use, in Asia is priced between $150 and $160 a barrel. Whereas spot, which is what we look at the screens you just mentioned, is around 102 Brent. There is a huge mispricing going on, which is telling us that the physical market is really scared of what's going on, especially in Asia. These guys will be running out of jet fuel in the next 4 to 6 weeks, which means that if we want to fly to anywhere in Asia, it's going to be very difficult. Europe is having a similar problem. So if this continues, by the time we reach June, July, we're not going to be going to Spain or Portugal anytime soon.
And something you, just to pick up on something you said there, in all your years covering the region and the Strait of Hormuz, it sounds like we are literally in uncharted territory, uncharted waters here because of the prolonged closure of what's happening there.
100%, because we don't know how President Trump is going to react. Yes, he did the taco last year on the tariffs. He did a taco just now, and it seems he's escalating things until he pulls the plug. But we don't know who pulls the plug. What if the Iranians come in and say, no way, I am going to let all these vessels, tankers, carrying Chinese oil that goes to China, because China is the biggest buyer of Iranian oil. 95% of all Iranian oil goes to China. What if China comes into the midst and says, I don't like this? And then the Iranians start launching drones into Dubai, Saudi Arabia, Qatar. And then the U.S. says, now I'm going to show you my teeth. I'm not just barking. I'm going to bite you. And we go into another 2.0 war, which is unexpected right now. So a lot of volatility happening.
Yeah, a very worrying situation. Do you think that the ceasefire is intact? Do you think it was ever intact?
I think it was intact before the Americans announced the blockade. Now that the blockade takes effect around 3 p.m. UK time, we will wait and see. But the blockade in itself is not good news for the ceasefire. And mind you, the ceasefire doesn't exist when it comes to Israel-Lebanon. The Israelis continue to do what they're doing in Lebanon. So I'm very uncertain that this will hold for the next 10 days we're going to go back to high volatility, high uncertainty, and certainly at the pump station, we're going to be paying more.
John, we appreciate your time here on LBC News. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you.
That indeed. John Sfakianakis is Chief Economist and Head of Economic Research of the Gulf Research Centre in Saudi Arabia.